Hot News Update Coronavirus, May 03, 2020. Note, this is a collaborative video made between Travel for All fanpage and Knowledge of Coronavirus channel. Please respectfully welcome everyone. The following is the remarkable news most on May 03 as follows. 1. U.S. News. Notable news about America. Thousands of protesters defied of each closure in California to demonstrate against the governor's order. Coronavirus has now killed roughly 66,000 people in the U.S. and infected more than 1,100,000. Currently, the U.S. has two states, Texas and Georgia, which are leading in allowing some businesses to reopen after a long time to close because of the disease. Leaders in these states and elsewhere are less affected by the disease and under pressure from the public. New York State Governor Andrew Cuomo on May 2 declared that he was opposed to early opening requests. Mr. Cuomo asserted that although people are miserable because of no work, this is essential to fight the COVID-19 epidemic. 2. World opinion about COVID-19. Cases continue to soar. More than 3.4 million cases of the coronavirus and more than 244,000 deaths have been recorded globally, according to Johns Hopkins University. In the world and in many countries, there have been different opinions about lockdown, door opening and vaccine development. The breakthrough will mark the end of the coronavirus pandemic that paralyzes it with vaccines. Will this surely come true? But can this hope of the public be continually raised and later shattered as the various proposed solutions fail at the last hurdles? Instead of erasing COVID-19, societies could instead learn to live with it. Is this idea more helpful? This last opinion seems to be getting more attention. Countries can learn to live with it. Cities will slowly open and some freedoms will be returned, but on a short chain if the recommendations of experts are followed. Because treatment can be developed, disease still occurs every year and the number of deaths worldwide will continue to rise. 3. UK News. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson has revealed arrangements were made in case he died while in hospital with a coronavirus. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson and Fiance Kerry Simmons named their two sons, Wilfred Laurie Nicholas Johnson. The middle name Nicholas is known to honor the two doctors who treated Mr. Johnson when he had been infected with COVID-19 since last month. The UK could allow primary schools in England and Wales to reopen as early as June 1, according to Prime Minister Boris Johnson's plans. The Sunday Times said the British government would relax some restrictions this week, including encouraging buildings to work again, reducing outdoor rules and urging residents to wear masks when going out. UK passed the peak as coronavirus deaths decline over the past 24 hours. The United Kingdom has seen a decrease in number of coronavirus-related deaths in the past 24 hours. There have been a total of 28,446 coronavirus-related deaths in the UK. 4. Russia News. The number of people infected is rising in Russia. Russia reported 10,633 new cases of coronavirus on Saturday in its biggest one-day spike. 5. China News. China's economy stagnated. Roads have been blocked, factories closed, shops have been empty. The effects of coronavirus have just begun to be felt. Many business owners have fear of unease. The closure of the factory, the measures to isolate the city and to isolate the residents have made the world's no. 2. Economic power almost numb. Oxford Economics downgraded China's growth in the first quarter to 4%. The full-year growth of 5.4% in 2020 was the highest. There is an opinion that China has a large population. An anti-epidemic measure was introduced too late. As a result, more than 20 countries banned the gates of Chinese people, making China feel isolated. The Wuhan virus, as the Hong Kong people call it, has been deadly in the special zone. The fight against Chinese influence has more fuel. Chief Executive Lam Trin-Gayatga was under pressure to strike by tens of thousands of health workers. The coronavirus outbreak occurred on the occasion of the New Year, the season of shopping and tourism. As a businessman, within 2 weeks of dullness, pockets of $140 billion in revenue. In the last months of the year, farmers lost more than $140 billion. Moreover, the trade war with the U.S. has not ended. Faced with overwhelming calamities, Beijing's coping capacity is therefore very limited. But, with abundant foreign currency reserves, $3 trillion, the Chinese Communist Party will not be passive to let the economy fall short and lead to instability. However, the reputation of the regime will be greatly chipped. Xi Jinping himself warned. The total number of Chinese COVID-19 cases to date is 82,877, of which 4,633 have died. 6. Indian news. Limited measures due to India's corona have accidentally prevented the supply of buffalo meat for the Muslim holy month of Ramadan. The COVID-19 pandemic has stopped the supply of buffalo meat from India. The high selling price immediately affected trading activities. Most facilities that know buffalo meat in India have been closed because of the pandemic. Observers predicted Indian buffalo meat sales would continue to decline in April due to widespread blockade orders. Even when the limit orders began to loosen, May sales were still deemed to be unrecoverable. This month usually contributes 20% to India's annual buffalo meat consumption. 7. Hong Kong news. Hong Kong Airport uses a full-body disinfection chamber for 40 seconds. Business Insider reported on May 2 that to prevent the spread of the COVID-19 epidemic, Hong Kong International Airport began testing a machine that will effectively disinfect, detoxify passengers from head to toe. The device, called Clean technology, is about the same size as a phone booth that acts like a full-body disinfection device, killing viruses clinging to passengers' bodies and clothes. According to statistics from Johns Hopkins University, Hong Kong has recorded more than 1,000 cases of COVID-19 so far on 5 consecutive days. This week there were no new cases. 8. Cambodia news. More than 200 factories in Cambodia could be shut down due to the COVID-19 influence. COVID-19 is disrupting Cambodia's supply chain, making raw materials pouring from China into a shortage. Cambodia also predicts that the majority of the affected factories will be in the textile sector. About 10 factories and about 3,000 workers here informed the government about the partial suspension. Currently, textile is Cambodia's most labor-intensive industry, generating $7 billion a year for the economy, according to official Cambodian data. 9. Korean news. Korea is about to relax the social gap. South Korean Prime Minister Chun Sik-yeon said on May 3 that the country would continue to relax social measures starting May 6, which allowed a portion of the business to reopen after must close to cope with COVID-19. The government will allow businesses to restart production facilities in multiple stages, in addition to allowing people to gather and organize events, ensuring they comply with infection prevention guidelines. 10. Singapore news. Singapore has an additional 657 cases of COVID-19 according to the Ministry of Health statistics, dated May 3, 2020, bringing the total number of cases from the beginning of the epidemic season to 18,205. However, the Singapore government is considering restarting production activities as the majority of coronavirus infections are in dormitories for migrant workers, with very few cases in the community. On May 2, the Singapore Minister of Health said that some areas such as homework, laundry, and haircuts will be allowed to resume operations from May 12. Students will return to school and study in groups. Small, from May 19. 11. Japanese news. Japan may extend its state of emergency after May 6. According to NHK, the specific reason given by the Japanese Prime Minister is that the hospitals are currently overloaded while the number of patients hospitalized for COVID-19 continues to increase. Prime Minister Shinzo Abe added that he would consult experts to decide the time to extend the emergency. In recent days, the number of new COVID-19 patients in Japan has increased slowly. However, during the past 24 hours, there were still 200 more cases, bringing the total number of COVID-19 positive to 14,281 people. To date, 415 people have died of the new coronavirus. 12. News of Russia. The number of infections in Russia continues to rise sharply at the rate of 10,000 people per day. The Russian government on May 3 said that in the past 24 hours alone, the country recorded 10,633 new cases of coronavirus. In the figures a day earlier, Russia recorded 9,623 new cases. 13. Philippines news. The Philippines has temporarily halted all passenger and commercial flights to and from the country, starting at 8 a.m. on May 3. Authorities said it was an effort to combat the spread of the coronavirus, recently caused COVID-19. However, this ban does not target special-purpose flights for anti-epidemic work. In a statement Monday night, Manila International Airport Management said that cargo flights, medical supplies and maintenance were not affected. The number of new cases of coronavirus that causes COVID-19 in the Philippines has reached 9,223 after the Ministry of Health of the country confirmed 295 new cases on May 3. Also, according to the latest figures mentioned above, the Philippines recorded 4 deaths, bringing the total number of COVID-19 deaths in this Southeast Asian country to 607 people. 14. Thai news. Thailand relaxed, allowing alcohol sales. Thailand has begun to relax some of the social divestment regulations because of COVID-19 after the number of infections in the country continues to decline. In Bangkok and many other provinces, the government may consider opening some businesses and loosening rules in everyday life, including allowing the sale of alcohol that had previously been banned, according to KO. Thailand Tourism Authority, TAT. Specifically from May 3, the hotel is allowed to sell food and drinks. Airports, train stations, bus stops, hospitals, restaurants and liquor stores, convenience stores may be open. However, pubs, bars can only open for sale. Takeaway. People can buy alcohol and beer but have to drink at home. A curfew from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. is still valid. Bans for high-risk areas such as cinemas, defense, water parks, public swimming pools, gyms or beauty facilities continue. 15. Vietnam news. Vietnam recorded 1 near shift after 9 days. Information from the National Steering Committee for Prevention of COVID-19. Vietnam has just recorded 1 new case of COVID-19, the 27th patient. The patient of British nationality, an expert of the Vietnam Oil and Gas Group, was allowed to enter current economic project. From 6 p.m. on 16 April to 6 p.m. on 3 May, Vietnam has no new cases of infection due to infection in the community. Our newsletter is now over. Thank you for always watching and supporting our videos. Knowledge of Coronavirus, Channel and Travel for All fan page respectfully, and see you in the next video.